it's Liz Yuille from Old Stables Crafts, Stampin' Up independent demonstrator. Today's project is this one, and this is an almost completely free project because I am using two items from Celebration, one from the initial release and one from the new release. So from the initial release, I'm using the Tutti Frutti cards and envelopes. These are on page 14 of the first release Celebration catalogue, and they're here. They go with the fruit basket suite, the Tutti Frutti suite, but they go with everything because, being Stampin' Up, if you stick with the colours that are in the pack, then they go with everything. So in the pack, and actually I've added a few extra colours, in the pack we've got Basic Black, Calypso Coral, Crumb Cake, Daffodil Delight, Lemon Lime Twist, Pool Party. So a nice selection. The coral is probably the brightest, with the possible exception of Lemon Lime Twist. So that's from the first edition of the Celebration catalogue. And then from the second release, which came out on the 16th of February, I'm using the Eclectic Expressions stamp set. There were 3 items that were added. There was one level 2 bundle, so free with a £90 order, and that's the basket weave textured impression embossing folder, which will be available to buy with money come the new annual catalogue in June. But hey, why spend money when you can get it for free? And then the Blossoming Basket stamp set, which is a red rubber set, which won't be in the annual catalogue, but goes really well with the basket weave embossing folder. So that's a level 2, that's a £90 purchase, or free with a £90 purchase. Then the other 2 items are the Eclectic Expression stamp set, which is what we're going to be using in a minute, and the Springtime Foils Specialty Designer Series paper. This is single-sided, beautifully foiled, 3 sheets of each of 4 designs. It is beautiful. I've done some projects with this already, so you can have a look at that. If you look back at my blog posts and videos, you'll see a number of projects using those. These are both free with £45 orders. As is, as I say, the card pack that I'm going to be using now. So, this uses 2 of the stamps. It uses the Happy Birthday and this circle. The circle and these 2 splodges, for want of a better word, are meant to be not solid. So they're really great for using if you're a little bit not quite sure about stamping, because it doesn't matter, and we like things like that. So I'm just going to grab a piece of scrap paper because I will be stamping off the edge. This is just a document that I printed by mistake, so don't need it. So I'm using, as I say, one of these card bases. This is the one that is in Daffodil Delight, but it's in full strength and in not full strength. It's almost as so saffron, but not quite, because it's a slightly different shade of yellow. So just score that or burnish that properly. Then Pool Party. Now, these card bases are made for the North American standard letter size, which is 8.5 by 11. So they are slightly wider and slightly shorter than international A6. So I have cut my mat down to allow for that. I will put the final dimensions on my blog, so you've got those, but that's what we're working to for these. And then we've got beautiful little envelopes as well, and they're printed on the inside as well as the outside. So yeah, this is where I got the crumb cake idea for this particular card. So we are using French and English apparently. Daffodil Delight, Pool Party, Crumb Cake and Perfect Plum. introduced Perfect Plum just to be a bit different, really. So I'm going to take a card base. Now these are the card bases that I would use with note cards. And again, I'll put the dimensions of that on my blog post. So I've got the circle mounted on an B block. Yep, B block. So I'm just going to ink that up, and it's just, you know, gentle taps. The key for me for something like this is to make sure that you go off the edge of the card. So I'm just going to pop these fairly randomly. I'm not specifically following where they were before, although it may look like it. Just clean that off. I will need this again for the happy birthday, but not just yet. Right, Daffodil Delight. So let's not follow where I was before. Shall I pop that there, I think. Clean that off. Pool Party. Yeah, pop that there. And over there. And really all I'm doing is filling the space. I'm trying not to overlap, but I don't mind if they touch. I just don't particularly want them to overlap. Now, I have got, although I haven't had a chance to play with yet, my Stamparatus. So I'm hoping that very soon I will be able to bring you some Stamparatus projects, just so that you can... Oh, terribly sorry about that. Don't really need that to make noises. That's my laptop being terribly rude to me. Yes, if I pop that there, then I can pop another something there. And we'll come in just there. I'm going to come back in and pop Pool Party, I think, there, because that's a space that's a wee bit too big for me. Just about got away with it. It's overlapped a wee bit, but I'm not too worried. So, don't need that anymore. What I need next is there's this stamp, which is sort of sprinkles. So I'll just swap over that with that. Now these are available in either clear mount, which is obviously what I've got, or on wood blocks. It doesn't matter which you do. They're both free. I just prefer the clear mount. From a storage point of view, they are a lot smaller. And as I have a few stamp sets, only a few, you understand, I could do with all the storage space that I can. So yeah, I tend to go for the clear mount. I also find it easier just to see where that is. I don't put the stickers on the back, I accept that, but I do find it easier to at least have some idea of where the stamp is. Maybe just here as well. It's just a splattering, it's not a specific splattering. So that's that. Right, I've now got a strip of Whisper White that is just an offcut from cutting card bases or card mats. It is about 2 centimetres for those of you working in metric, and about 3/4 inch for those of you like me who work in imperial. So I need the Perfect Plum again, and Happy Birthday, which I've got on a block that's probably far too large. It's on my H block, but it just seemed like the one to go for. And all I'm going to do with that, actually I'll do it at this end, is stamp on my strip. Hurrah! And close that up. Find my snips. I'm just going to cut that off as straight as I can make it. And I'm just going to, that's not very straight actually. I'm just going to flag my end, and to do that, I'm just going to snip sort of in the middle and then cut into that. It's much easier to do it that way than to try and do the two bits separately. At least I find it's easier to do that. So that's everything we need stamped, so let's pop it all together. Bit of liquid glue, which has been dangling upside down, so hopefully will work. Yes. So this is our multi-purpose glue, which is currently in Europe on back order, but we are assured it is coming back in any day now, which is just as well because I've just ordered some. So just pop that down there. Ooh. Preferably without squishing. This is why wet glue is nice, because as I put it down I moved it. So it was lovely and square and then it wasn't. Now that's better. Super duper. Right, I prefer not to use wet glue on the smooth Whisper White, because it does tend to just leave, not bubbles, but you can just sort of see it, sense it. So a bit of snail is fine. And then pop that into the middle of our card. And then for the happy birthday, I just need some dimensionals, which you can imagine I've buried. So weather report for today. I'm filming this earlier than you're seeing it, so I'm filming this, we're still in February. And for those of you not in the UK, you may or may not be aware that we have got the beast from the east, which is a cold blast coming in from Siberia. So where I am in South Oxfordshire, where I am in South Oxfordshire, we currently have the cold blast, but not much in the way of snow. What I would call an icing sugar sprinkle, but nothing more than that. But it is bitterly cold. It's about -7, which for the end of February and midday, when I'm filming this, is just ridiculous. So I have no doubt we're going to have very few daffodils actually coming into flower, because I think they're all going to be killed off by the frost. But there we go. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. As I say, nice, quick, easy, and pretty much free project. So all you need to do to replicate this is pop over to my online store and pop a qualifying order into your basket. If you are ordering between £25 and £150 worth of product, do remember to use the hostess code, which is in the information below. It's also over on my blog. And if you use the hostess code, you get to share in the hostess rewards. Anyone who places an order will get a thank you card and thank you gift from me. But as I say, if you use the hostess code, you also get to share in the rewards. And because it's celebration, we get extra rewards. So I am making sure that I am sharing those extra rewards as well. So extra generous at the moment. So yeah. If you are placing a large order, do remember to have a think about placing it as a starter kit. It's just a toe in the water. If it turns out that you don't want to be a demonstrator, and by that I mean just you don't want the ongoing discount, then that's fine. I don't mean you have to demonstrate, because you don't. My team, which is growing really quite rapidly at the moment, is mostly people who don't demonstrate. We've got a couple who do, but most of them don't. They've joined for the camaraderie and the discount. If you're in the UK and you're not already on my newsletter mailing list, if you pop over to my blog, which I say is linked below, and fill out the form at the very bottom of the blog posts, and that's on the PC version, so they're not on your mobile phone, then you fill out all that information. I will enter you into a prize draw, which will be done at the beginning of April. and I'll be putting together a kit, a little craft kit as the prize for that, but that is UK only, because I only operate in the UK. If you don't subscribe to my channel, bottom right hand corner is the subscription button. It'd be lovely if you did subscribe. That would be great, and it's a good way of making sure you keep up to date with everything I post. Other than that, thank you very much indeed for joining me today, and I will see you again very soon. Bye!